Alrighty, so what we have here is what's known as the world's smallest electric pressure washer. Is it going to be enough to get the grease and grime off the frame? Who knows, but I borrowed it from a buddy for free, so it's worth a shot. Here it is out in the sun. You can see I've started scraping on it just a little bit. Quite oily. And you can see up here, the valve cover was the problem. This is a new valve cover gasket with a coat of RTV on both sides. Don't know if that's right. There's lots of opinions online, but that's the one I decided to go with. But here in the daylight, look how good this frame actually is. This is the worst spot on the frame, and it's simply surface rust. You back to here. These things are usually rusted through, and they're not. We'll get new bushings right there. This is a sad thing though. This isn't rusted, but it's bent. So I spent 80 bucks and bought a new rear cross member. While I'm doing the suspension, that won't be too big an issue. Yeah, super greasy, super oily. Hopefully most of this comes off. I'm gonna fog the frame black. Move the body out the way, just roll it around. Actually, yeah, here's a bunch of grease and Q-tips I used to clean out the bolt holes. Proud of myself for that one. But back to the pressure washing. Tiny little pressure washer, but I do have one trick up my sleeve. Morning, Dixie. Coming over here, it doesn't hook up to the hose bib. No, I brought it into the house. And voila, it is hooked to my new hot water. So we will see how this goes, see if this makes a little bit of difference getting that grease off. Welcome back to the backyard restoration. This is actually going pretty well. World's smallest pressure washer in hot water. Cleaned off a bunch of the dirt on the frame and some of the grease. And now I'm waiting the 10 minutes for the foamy gunk engine cleaner to start its work. And of course I started my morning watching some Vice Grip Garage, so not going for perfection, going for good enough. Man, this is gonna be pretty good. The transmission itself was silver. I thought just the bell housing was silver, but the transmission is aluminum, so that was interesting to find out. As well as that piece, the tail shaft housing. Thought it was black. As another one of my favorite car hosts says, paint it black and put it back. Alright, world's smallest pressure washer actually did a good job. Apparently this came off of Amazon, but I got to borrow it for free. I think the hot water trick worked really well. Cannot believe how well the transmission turned out. I could scrub it and get it better, but honestly this is good enough. It was caked in oil, and now it's not. And it's gonna be hidden under the body, so I'm not too worried. And same thing with the frame. I fogged on some black spray paint I got from Lowe's. Don't even think it's the good stuff. The point being is I want it to look decently good under the Jeep, and then it's gonna get dusty because this is gonna be a driver. There we go, Dana 300 transfer case, decently cleaned up. Once that dries, I'll spray a little more black paint down there. And why go to the point to make it perfect? Because look at that weld spatter from the factory. I'm not even worried about grinding that stuff off. I mean, this is literally the top of the frame that's gonna be, I don't know, 1.5 inches from the bottom of the tub. Pumpkin looks pretty good. Actually read the numbers again. And found the VIN number marking. Didn't have the full VIN. Wasn't sure what it would say, but the last 4 match, so that feels good. I'm pretty sure the engine block has been spray painted before, and I might spray a little more on. I might actually get some engine enamel for this one. I'm wondering if it might be a replacement block. There's a little bit of yellow on the back of it, but the manifold has a 1983 date on it. I don't know if you can see, it has the original AMC coil, which is pretty cool. Too bad I can't reuse that with the MSD system. I guess I could, but I won't get nearly the spark I'd like to get. Fog some black down in here. This stuff's gonna be dusty, so a little bit just to clean it up. And I've got all red body bushings too. When I said put on all the new body bushings, they're gonna pop. Didn't do the bumper. I'm gonna do that one separately and prime it and do a good job with it. The same thing, didn't do the rear cross member because I have a new one on order I need to weld in. Gosh, this cleaned up well. I've got a new boot to put on there. Might spray a little more paint down in here on top of the steering pump, but that's honestly gonna be hidden. I did paint the front engine cover a little bit. It's aluminum painted black, and the scratches showed pretty badly. And got all the timing marks clean. That's gonna help when I check that I'm at 12 degrees after installing the MSD distributor. Yep, I've got new motor mounts as well. The red polyurethane, that's gonna pop under the hood. Gosh, look at this transmission. It looks amazing. And project tonight might be pull off this clutch linkage, clean it in the sink, and rebuild it. I bought a rebuild kit. Clutch pedal's gonna feel amazing. And I didn't worry with the springs. I have a full new set of springs, so I left those rusty. And the same thing with the exhaust cover. I might paint that. Actually, I probably won't. That'll get hot. But I can cut off the old exhaust now and get the new one in place. And back to the pile of parts as usual. Upside down frame. That's kind of funny. Actually, with it flipped upside down, let's look at how bad the rust was. Terrible. Backseat floor decently good. Terrible. Terrible. Insane. Oh, and this is where the seatbelt hooked on. Oil leak there, kept it nice and clean. I think that was a destroyed U-joint in the front drive shaft. I'm glad I got a new one. Terrible. And good thing never got in a wreck because that's the seatbelt pulled down 4 or 5 times with that. I think it would fully come off. And kind of wild is missing the plate. You can see the body plate over there missing here, just completely rusted away. Although surprisingly, this is in good shape. It's funny it rotted through here and not here. I had another Jeep where this whole panel was rusted out. Slowly coming along. Cannot wait to be driving this thing this summer.